Hey, what's going on, everyone? We're going to be talking about the first steps towards getting a ring muscle up, whether that's strict or kipping. Me personally, I like to see people get strict first, so that way we know you have the muscle motor control, the necessary stability, flexibility to kind of get through these movements instead of just slamming into it kipping. All right, so first thing first, we'd like to see everyone have 10 strict pull-ups, and not 10 strict pull-ups where we just slam through it, crash into the bottom, but 10 controlled strict pull-ups, 5 strict chest to bar, and we'll talk about that, and then at least 10 deep, solid ring dips. Now, what I mean by controlled is you should be lowering into that dip twice as slow as it took you to come up out of it, right? It's a good way to kind of build strength. Eccentric loading will increase muscle size, help your tendons and ligaments get ready for the force you're going to put it through later. Same thing with those pull-ups. You want to control them. Now, when it comes to the ring dip, besides just getting the strength for it, we will make sure that you're going deep into the bottom of it, because when you do a muscle up, it's going to be the deepest dip you've ever done. And what we want to be careful of is that shoulder, when we hit bottom, we're not rolling forward. If that happens to you, video yourself from the side. We have to work on mobility and flexibility before we start playing around with that muscle up, right? So position is first, isometric strength, and then we can start adding some strict work in, and then we can start kipping and get a little bit more dynamic. Now, what I recommend to people is to do 3 days a week with at least a day of rest in between. Day number 1, if you don't have those 10 ring dips and 10 strict pull-ups, which is what I'm talking about. Day 1, Monday, just take 10 minutes, start the clock, accumulate as many pull-ups, strict, rest a little bit, go ring dips, strict. Go back and forth, never going near failure. So if that's just 1 pull-up, rest a little bit, 1 dip, you keep going back and forth, that's fine. If it's 5 and 5, awesome. If it's 10 and 10, even better. Hey, we can skip past this. We'll have a video on what to do next once you have that prerequisite strength. Now, on Wednesday, what we want to see to help with stability in the shoulders is doing every minute on the minute. Minute 1 is going to be dip support, and we don't want the knuckles facing out. We want the knuckles facing back, palms facing out. All right, to get into a real support position. Hold it as long as you can. If it's 5 seconds, it's 5 seconds. If it's 10, whatever it happens to be, do it. Okay, that's minute 1. Minute 2, we're going to go into the bottom of the dip. And again, we're going to watch out for that shoulder position, make sure it's not rolled forward. Let's hang out down there. Now, we're not relaxed. I want you to keep tension, right? Just like it's going to happen in the muscle up. We don't want to land soft in the muscle up. And then minute 3, we're going to practice that false grip and just hang from the rings with extended arms, again, for as long as we can. We're going to rotate through that for 15 minutes, so you get 5 sets of each. Now, let's say on the 3rd day, which would be Friday in our case, we're going to do some more strict chest to bar work. So I'm going to set a clock for 4 minutes. If you have strict chest to bar, great. If you don't, a simple way to kind of scale it is to take a barbell, set up in the rack, right around your sternum, so you can use your legs to help you. Because what we need to get used to is most of the time when people do pull-ups or here, we need to get those shoulders pinched back and get that little extra range of motion using all those stabilizers, rotator cuff, everything's going around in your upper back that most of us ignore until we actually need to hurt it or we get tweaked. 4 minutes, accumulate reps. Again, never go to failure. Take a 2-minute break, and we're going to do 4 minutes of push-ups. Same rule on both of these where we want to take twice as long lowering as we do on the way up. We want to get our shoulders ready for what we're going to do when we go to do muscle ups. Keep trying this until you got that prerequisite strength of 10 strict pull-ups, 10 strict ring dips, and 5 strict chest to bar. And again, this should all be controlled. We shouldn't be crashing. We want to control it all. Now, let's say with those strict chest to bar, you feel like your upper back isn't working at all. Believe it or not, doing accessory movements such as band pull-aparts, maybe single arm high pulls, rear flies, maybe you do some bodybuilding type movements to add some muscle mass. It does help if you're missing strength in your upper back. All right, so that's step 1. If you don't have that prerequisite strength, get to work. Next week, we'll talk about step 2.